So I wanted to take a moment to talk about a topic that came up during yesterday's live stream. And that is, you have to understand who your ex really is before you start the divorce process. I've seen multiple times where you get caught up, where a person gets caught up in the emotion of the moment. They don't realize what the ramifications are, and then they react emotionally to a situation, and it causes a complete disaster. You guys may remember Tracy Malone from her YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to her video. She has a story which really brings this out, where she inadvertently made some mistakes and ended up getting arrested because of it and didn't even realize, right? I mean, so it's like you think that you can still basically, the problem is you're not thinking of your ex as an enemy. And I get that, because even when you realize your relationship's breaking down, a lot of times it's really tough to connect the dots. And you still think, well, this person isn't going to do anything malicious to me, and they're not going to take anything out of context. And you really need to be careful about that. You really need to prepare yourself that your ex, especially if they are narcissistic, will use anything and everything to achieve their goal. I've said this in the past, that if your ex does not need you gainfully employed or out of jail, or that type of thing, you are at serious risk, because for them to undermine you completely, basically push your buttons, get you to respond in a negative way, gives them all the cards. And this is not a father-centric thing. A lot of people think it is. They think that the mom will manipulate the system, set up the dad responds badly, and the next thing you know, they have a restraining order, they've lost custody, they can't see their kids. This happens to women too. This is not a singular gender issue. And part of the thing is that these narcissistic people they understand how to manipulate the court system and family court to their advantage. So you have to be incredibly careful. I would recommend, no matter what, if you're going through a divorce and you're not sure, and you think, oh, my ex would never do that, play it safe. Don't do anything to give them even the opportunity to say something. If they're trying to push your buttons, don't engage with them. Don't argue with them. Absolutely don't do anything violent. Don't throw anything. Don't do anything like that. You need to control your emotions and make sure that you don't do anything that they can use against you. Because here's the problem. If you do, or it's even out of context, you immediately can get stuck with a temporary restraining order, and then depending on how you interact with it, that can turn into a permanent restraining order and supervised visitation or no visitation, and you can really get yourself into trouble. Another person during the live stream made a comment about still having relationship or physical relations with their soon-to-be ex. Do not do anything that they can use against you, that they could potentially take out of context to attack you in a criminal court of law. You don't want to do that. I get it. It's tough. Like the story I was talking about with Tracy earlier in her video, she didn't realize. I mean, she got upset, did some things, didn't think anything about it, thought it was just, just expressing herself. I can't remember how she actually put it, but the outcome of that is she was arrested, went to jail for a little while, was forced to go through anger management class, all those type of things. And if you're thinking that your ex will think that they feel remorse for it. They don't. They enjoy the chaos and the control, and if they're able to destroy your environment or have that type of control, it feeds into their supply. So do not think that somebody that you were in a relationship with and that you thought loved you or that you loved isn't capable of just doing anything and everything to undermine you. You have to be very, very, very careful of that. And I mean, I know this is a tough topic, but I hate seeing and hearing about people who've fallen into that trap, and now they're stuck trying to dig their way out of it. Now, the thing is you can work on everything. I mean, if you get into the situation where you are stuck with supervised visitation and, you know, the family court may have hammered you really hard, you just have to follow those orders and slowly demonstrate that you're not the person they thought you were, and slowly build that time back up. And it is going to be incredibly hard. You can do it. It's just going to be hard because you're going to have that constant reminder of the unfairness of this and have to be on the absolute best behavior to make sure that you can demonstrate. If you get to the point where it's supervised visitation, demonstrate to the social worker that you're okay around the kids, and slowly try to build a case to say, okay, now it would be fair to have more time. But you have to follow the court order to a T. If your ex is not following the court order, you can't blow a gasket at it. You have to try to exercise your visitation that you're supposed to get, and then document it. And that's it. Don't overdo it. Don't like send 9,000 text messages saying, hey, you're supposed to let me see the kids, because that'll blow up in your face as excessive communication, more than likely. You're going to have to follow the rules of that order, the guidelines of that order to a T. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It may feel like it, but you know, your best bet is to make decisions early on to where you don't get caught up in that. And then after that, doing what you need to, if you do make mistakes, to fix them, to focus on what you have to do, and just drive through the process. Take the time that you get. If it's if you're down to a couple hours or an hour a week of visitation with your kids, if that's what you get, that's what you get. And try to exercise it, and try to have the best conversation and the best interaction you possibly can. And it's going to be tough, because at this stage, if that's happened, you've more than likely been alienated from your kids, and it's going to be really tough in that period, that small period of time, to deal with it. And it's going to be gut-wrenching, because it's more than likely not going to go well at first. What you have to do is you have to reestablish the communications. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to sit there and go, remember everything I've done for you. Remember, when you were a kid. You can't. You have to start from that day and start rebuilding. So I just wanted to touch on this because I know we talked about it. If you haven't seen the live stream, check it out. It was a lot of discussion, a lot of comments from the viewers on that live chat on this particular topic. But I just wanted to hit it because if you're in the early stages of your divorce and you're trying to figure it out, just anticipate that they're your worst enemy. Anticipate that they will take anything and everything out of context. So be very careful what you say, what you send in emails, how you do it, and just take everything really slow and try to anticipate traps. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but see, here's the thing. If you're able to do that, and if your ex isn't that type of person, then you're just in a better situation anyways. Conversely, if your ex is that, you want to take every possible avenue that they could railroad you in family court and take it away. All right, on that, if you guys have some other things you want to add on how you've been able to deal with that, do that in the comments below, and I will chat with you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.